Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's the weekend roundup. Now, if Nintendo is known for anything, it's first-party games. Those are the number one reason why most of us buy a Nintendo console. It's what sets Nintendo apart from the other big console makers after all these years, which is what makes this story so weird, because Nintendo has straight up abandoned one of its best-selling games on the Switch. And this makes absolutely no sense, but here we go. I'm talking about Super Mario Party. Now, despite selling more than 7.5 million copies, Nintendo has hung this game out to dry with just one measly update in the last year, and it is laughable. And in neglecting this game, Nintendo might have done permanent damage to the franchise. Super Mario Party, if you've never played it, it's a party game, where you compete with friends, you play various mini games, you move your characters across a big game board, kind of like a board game, but digital. You get it. You played the Super Mario Party game before. Now, the Switch version, it came out last year. It rose to become the 7th best-selling game of all time on the Switch. Not bad, right? There's some interest there. Well, for some reason, Nintendo has completely ignored it since then. It hasn't added any new boards, any new mechanics, nothing. And I'm not just talking about their failure to add new content. Nintendo hasn't even fixed issues like, I don't know, giving us the option to deactivate the tutorial mode because we played it for 1 million times and we don't need it, or updating its extremely limited online multiplayer mode. Back in March, Nintendo released its one and so far only update to the game, which, drumroll, fixed an issue with online Mariothon in which ranking data was not displaying properly. Woo! Thank God y'all were on it. That's it. By comparison, basically every other best-selling IP of theirs has gotten 1 million updates. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, check. Zelda Breath of the Wild, yep. Super Mario Odyssey, of course. Splatoon 2, you better believe it. Even Mario Tennis Aces, which didn't sell half of what Mario Party did, has had 7 updates. I counted 7. It's a Mario Tennis game. The real tennis hasn't gotten that many updates. If Super Mario Party didn't sell well, I'd understand. Developers abandon bad games all the time, but it didn't. It sold really well. Nintendo, I don't know, they're acting like it doesn't exist. And as you might imagine, this is really annoying people like myself who paid $60 for a game that very quickly went stale. Over on the Nintendo Switch subreddit, a post asking Nintendo to add more boards to the game got more than 18,000 upvotes. That poster, King of Plebs, great name, wrote, "I love Mario Party and I think they did a great job on its last iteration, but with just 4 boards, it falls short. I would understand 4 boards if they planned on releasing more in a DLC package, but besides a small update, the game has been largely ignored. And some people have said they'll never buy another Mario Party game again based on how Nintendo treated this one." Reddit user Harda Toenail wrote, "I consider my money wasted on this one. Wife and I loved it for a few games, then it was stale. And it's problems that have been there for years. Animations way too long. Board turns take way too long. Forced items. So many simple things they can fix easily." Oh, and this won't surprise you, but Nintendo did not respond to these complaints at all. Now, some people have speculated Nintendo's already working on a sequel, but it's hard to see it selling well based on how Nintendo has treated Mario Party players. Fool me once. Update the game. It needs at least 8 boards at this point. Anyway, moving on. The Resident Evil 3 remake is here. Well, it was announced anyway. It's a real thing. We kind of knew that from the leaks, but Sony showed off a first trailer during their State of Play this week. It looks great, just like the Resident Evil 2 remake looked great. Everything's looking positive. Oh, this one's gonna have multiplayer too. It's called Project Resistance. It's an asymmetric online game that pits 1 player against 4. It's coming out pretty soon too, April 3rd of next year. I'm excited. All right, good news. If you don't own a PlayStation 4 and wanna play MLB The Show, it is finally coming to other platforms. In a joint statement from Sony Interactive Entertainment, Major League Baseball, and the MLB Players Association, they said they've entered into a multi-year extension with Sony on its MLB license to make MLB The Show, but as part of that, it will bring the franchise to additional consoles as early as 2021. That's all we know now, but that is great news. Non-exclusives, always a good thing. Now we've got yet another Fortnite dance lawsuit to talk about. It's been reported that lots of people have sued Epic Games over various dances that found their way into the game. But now Epic is the one doing the suing. This one involves Matt Geiler, aka the Dancing Pumpkin Man. You might remember him. He was the guy behind the viral video in 2006 after he did his now legendary dance for a news station in Omaha, Nebraska. Well, Geiler apparently got protective of his moves because he sent Epic a cease and desist letter claiming that their Pump It Up emote was too close to his dance, and Epic clapped back with a lawsuit saying it doesn't owe him squat and they didn't infringe on anything. Like I said, a bunch of people sued Epic over dances they also said were ripped off. GamesIndustry.biz reports that most of them didn't go anywhere after the Supreme Court ruled that plaintiffs must first register a copyright for their dance. Certainly sounds like Epic is tired of getting sued now. It's just doing preemptive lawsuits. Jeez. That's nuts. All right, now let's talk about the end of an era. Redbox is getting out of the video game business. They are going to remove video games from their infamous kiosks for good by the end of this year. In a statement, Redbox says it is permanently transitioning out of the games business and will just have movies from here on out. Until then, they say you'll be able to buy games through the end of the year. Of course, not a big surprise given that people are buying fewer and fewer physical copies of games. I used to rent games. That was a big thing when I was a kid. Most rental stores, though, they are gone now. Blockbuster had Hastings. That was a huge. Anybody have a Hastings? And of course, GameStop is having its own issues. So RIP video games on Redbox. They did say they're offering some deals if you can find them. Death Stranding and Jedi Fallen Order for $39.99. Now I gotta go find a Redbox. That was a deal. All right, 5-second review time. Here we go. Oh my God, I can't believe they announced. All right, let's talk about the games coming out next week. It's slim pickings, but I did find a few. First up is Watam, a game about the joys of friendship and discovery from Keita Takahashi, the creator of Katamari Damacy and Nobi Nobi Boy. In Watam, more than 100 wacky and carefree characters are waiting to be unlocked. This sounds a little familiar, and become your friends from sushi to seashells, gigantic trees, even toilets. The mayor will guide you through this whimsical world as you dance, chase, climb, stack, float, explode, and hold hands through all the fun. It's out December 17th for PS4 and PC. In Rift Keeper, you embark on a journey, travel through rifts, and restore the balance as the Rift Keeper, makes sense, in this handcrafted 2D roguelite platformer with challenging, fast-paced action gameplay. Travel through 30 different dungeons. Grow powerful as enemies keep getting harder. How far can you go? It's out December 17th for Switch. In Dual Brain Volume 1 Calculation, the rules pretty simple. You solve a problem within the time limit and aim for a high score, and they're online rankings so you can see just exactly how stupid you are compared to everyone else. I took one of those brain training games one time. It told me I was in my 70s. Compete for scores with players around the world. Get your internet-soaked brain working again. It's out December 19th. Or the Switch. Mirror is a game for sophisticated gentlemen. It combines match 3, gal game elements, and beauties. I'm gonna read this description because it's great. It is said that there is a magic mirror which is closely related to the destiny of numerous beautiful girls. If you obtain it, you will be able to walk into the world of the beauties and experience a magnificent journey. It goes on to say, if you want to learn more about those beauties, you need to best them first. Best. That's what they're calling it these days. All right, it's out December 19th for the Switch. Next up is Bayala, the game which is described as a spellbinding elfin adventure. When the dragons disappear, the power of magic might vanish too. You'll set off on an adventure-packed journey. You'll go through forests, into caves, across Bayala's dragon mountains, face off against the evil Shadow Queen Ophira, save Bayala from certain doom, and bring back magic. It's out December 19th for the Switch. In 60 parsecs, your space station is about to explode. You only got 60 seconds before things get messy. That sounds like minute a little bit. What or who will you grab before you make a mad dash for the emergency shuttle and begin your journey into the great unknown? It's a dark comedy sci-fi adventure set in the atomic space age, complete with all the Cold War paranoia, chrome-plated wall accents, and cockroaches. with space helmets. I like this description too. Lead a crew of woefully underprepared astronauts equipped with whatever junk you can grab before blasting off on a journey across the cosmos that's best described as misguided. Make the best of it while dealing with soup shortages and other horrors of outer space. Will you have what it takes to find a new home and survive? It's out December 20th for the Switch. And finally, Farabelle is a turn-based strategy game where you start at the end of the story and you have to go back in time to prevent war. After each victory, you jump backward into the past where you weren't as strong as you used to be. Think carefully, choose the right points to weaken and still survive. Can you manage with less health? Do you prefer to deal less damage? You gotta make the right decisions to anticipate your next fights. Thankfully, your units have a wide range of special abilities that can help you. You gotta master the art of leveling. Find out how it all began. It is out December 20th for the Switch. All right, that's all we've got in the news for today. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
It's Treason Tuesday! Thanks to Nintendo betraying us and selling out to China just like every other company basically anywhere else. China hasn't historically been the friendliest country to video game consoles or basic human rights, but Nintendo is hoping to change that. The console part that'll make them a lot of cha-ching. Not the human rights stuff, which is boring and not related to money. But yeah, now that this